Hello friends, today we have something interesting, and I know you're getting a little bit nostalgic seeing that 360 intro. Hell, I get nostalgic every time I see it when I fire up a backwards compatibility game, or when I turn on my Xbox 360, because yes, I still have one. Don't have a PS3 though. Eventually one day I'll get one just so I can play some of those FPS games that PlayStation used to release. I know, shocking. PlayStation used to release FPS games. But we're not talking about FPS games today, we're talking about MX versus ATV. This one is alive. But I'm just mainly talking about the idea of these games. You know, back in the day, back before some of you who were watching this were even like a thought in your dad's nutsack, or a dropped egg from your mom's uterus. You were nothing, but there was a group of us out there who grew up back in the 2000s. I know, so old. I'm like 29 and I already can hear my knees creak. What is that going to do for me? I don't know, but probably not a bright future. But I just remember jumping back into these games, and I'd get through these cool ass intros, and it would have like a real person who I had no idea who they were, like that African American gentleman we just saw. I don't know who that jabroni is. He's probably all old and crusty now, but at the time he was relevant, so they had to put him in the game. And on the point of talking about guys who don't or shouldn't be in this space, I'm kind of that guy, because if you're looking for a gameplay breakdown, like how this compares to the other ATV games, I'm the wrong guy. That's why I'm lumping this game in with all the ATV games, because I'm terrible at these games. I'm like crusty, like a crusty dildo you'd find in a crack whore's apartment, or in a crack man's apartment. What are men called? They're whores too, but in their old crusty pocket pussy. That's my gameplay here. For most of this video, you will see me run off of the track, wreck my ATV, not know what I'm doing, because every time I jump into this game, I jump into the point that I was last at when I finally figure out the mechanics again, and then I play it till I get bored, and then I move on to an actual story-based game. But it's something that I pad out between. It's one of my in-between games. I think everyone should have in-between games, and for me, this is one of them. Along with like a lot of the other sports games of this time period. I'll fire up my Xbox original just to hear DMX like sing me into a golf game. Yeah, that was a thing. DMX used to be on like the soundtrack for golf games. And that's something that I kind of miss about this era. It was willing to be experimental. And another thing about this era is everyone you knew had one of these games. You would go over to a friend's house and they would have like 3 games. They would have like a Call of Duty or a Halo, and then they would have like MX versus ATV or some other sports game, whether it be football, baseball, or golf, whatever they were into. I had a bunch of golf friends because I was a golfer. I know, gay, but it was fun. Leave me alone. It was just like, that was something of this era that I felt was a necessity. Now, today we still have the Madden. Madden has lived on. Tiger Woods' golf died off when he slept with a bunch of women and his wife tried to kill him with a golf club. But it's still, my point stands that at this time things were a little different. I mean, yeah, you would have racing games, but the ATV games were where it was at. It was like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Yeah, it did have its revival, but at this time, it reigned king. And it was something that a lot of people slept on at the time because you just had it. Everyone had one of these games, whether it was Alive or one of the other millions of iterations. Either your aunt gave it to you, your very touchy uncle felt bad for touching you so much, and he gave you one. And he was like, this will make up for that time I made you blow me. And it was like, this doesn't make up for it. My therapy bills will elapse this in 5 seconds. But it was there. It was in your house. It was always there for you. Unlike a father that went to get a gallon of milk or a pack of cigarettes. It was always there. And now I feel like I don't see these games pop up like they used to. I don't know if it's the time trying to be more serious for these companies. Because, like, that's why the NFL Blitz games went the way of the dodo. Is because they were trying to... The NFL was like, well, I don't want you to have a violent game like this tied into our art association. And I feel like maybe that's why we're in the era that we're in, where it's just kind of the very serious, it's got to have all the players, and it can't be too violent because that might like make our brand look bad. And maybe that's it, because I remember some of these games, I don't know about this one in particular, because like I said, I only jump in and play some races here and there, but I remember there was ones that I had like on my PSP where I was doing like backflips. I was like wrecking and doing crazy shit, and it was fun, and I would play it for like a couple hours. It was never that I was grinding it like I grind the stories that these video games that I make on my channel, but it was still like a part of my gaming experience. And what made me the way I am today with my love of video games was I could jump into a sport I give little to no fucks about and play the shit out of the game like I am a goddamn fucking motocross pro. I mean, even here, where I'm doing terrible, doing absolutely, like, abysmal gameplay, I'm still, like, grinding it for some reason. And, yeah, I was getting a little annoyed being terrible, and I did put in, like, a little bit of effort without capturing footage, and when I restarted this and saw that juicy-ass cheek of the starting lady again, I said, whoa, buddy, it's time for old King Jiffy Coats to slap some clit and slap it hard. And I came in, fucking balls to the walls, flaming trail behind me like I'm Ghost Rider, getting some of that ghost bussy, and I went hard, dude, on the next race. I knew the track, I knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted the gold, because if you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby knows, god damn it, and I went hard. I was like checking the guy in first tires. I'm like, oh, you're not gonna get me. I don't care how goofy I play this game, I'm going to play it to the best of my abilities, and I pushed hard. I pushed hard for that first, and when I got it, I felt my heart do a little flutter, a little like the moment I met my wife, I was like, oh, she's very nice, and I pushed hard, and I got that first, and there was a part of me that went back in time to when I would play these games in my off time, knowing I was going to go over to a friend's house so that I wouldn't be in last and he wouldn't make fun of me, because at that time, you knew the shit was coming at you hard. There wasn't any let down easy. You were getting called a pussy, a little bitch, a little baby boy. You were called all sorts of stuff that I can't even say on YouTube anymore, but was okay in the time period. Different times, a lot of things were allowed. But that was what was cool about these games, is they like brought that camaraderie together and that toxic mindset. It was that COD era, that same like mental space that went into talking crap on COD went into every single game when you're sitting on the couch right next to your homie who was like, you're a little bitch, and I'm like, I know. But I remember getting the finish in this, and I was like, I'm a badass. And the half-naked women were on stage, and they were like, you're probably going to sleep with us later. And I'm like, I know. And my penis is below average size, and you're still going to love it. It was great. This is what I used to live for, is at least having one of these games. And the fact that these weird sports games aren't like a thing like they used to be kind of kills me for the next generation. And maybe there is, these games still slap as much clit as they used to, but to me, I just don't see it. I go over to like my in-laws, like my brother-in-law's house, and their kids are playing like Roblox and stuff, which, I mean, cool, I hear it's fun, and they still play Minecraft, which everyone plays Minecraft, but to me, not having a motocross game is such a sin. It was always a sin and looked down like badly at this time period. They'd come over to your house, you don't own a motocross game, and you feel like a little idiot. I don't know, but that's about all I had for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is a little bit different than my normal content, but I hope you at least enjoyed the content. I'll catch you on the next video.